Hi friends, my name is Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and today we're going to go through my Kindle Unlimited library. I love Kindle Unlimited. It kind of helps me get free books. I know they aren't free because I do pay for the subscription, but after paying for the subscription, I can read as many books as I possibly can. This does help me when I need to fill a prompt for a readathon and I don't necessarily have a book on my shelves that will work, or when I get sucked into the FOMO of a buddy read and don't own the book. Sometimes it's on KU, and sometimes I just throw on some of the weirdest stuff that could possibly be on the internet. So I figured it would be fun to see what is sitting on my Kindle Unlimited, because honestly, sometimes I don't even know what's currently sitting on my Kindle Unlimited. I will add things and sometimes I read them right away, and sometimes they sit there for a long time and I kind of forget they're there until my 20 spaces fill up and I need to return something to add a new something. So let's dive in and see what is currently sitting on my Kindle Unlimited shelf. So we are actually going to go through these from the newest thing that I borrowed that is still on my Kindle Unlimited shelf to the oldest thing that I borrowed that's still on my Unlimited shelf. It was just the easiest way to kind of figure out what was on there. So that's what we're going to do. So some things have been on there for quite a long time, but that's okay. I'm still interested in reading them. And maybe this will remind me that I was interested in reading them and I will pick them up sooner rather than later. So the first book on here is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This book is the first book in the Boys of Tommen series, which I know nothing about. This book actually hasn't been on my TBR for very long. I didn't even have any plans to read this series until it was picked by Katie's Patreon as a series buddy read. Then everyone was telling me how great it was, so I decided, you know what, it's a good time to jump in on this series. And it looks to be a series of college sports romances. This first one, and I don't know if it's just the first one or if all of them follow the same sport, but this first one is a rugby romance. Then we have Painted All Red by St. Abbey. This is the last book in the Mind F series. I binged the first 4 books for Peace Talks. Sadly, did not get to the 5th, and I still have not had a chance to get to it. This is something I would really love to get to soon, but it's hard to fit it in between content and various things. So hopefully I'll get to it soon. It's going to sit on my Kindle Unlimited until I do. Then we have The Billionaires' Fake Fiancé by Annika Martin. This is actually the 4th book in a series, but I'm pretty sure I can read them out of order. This one became on my TBR when Alicia was reading this in sprints a couple of weeks ago. Alicia is one of my longtime subscribers and friends here on Instagram and BookTube, and said I would like this and was enjoying it when she was reading it. So I instantly went and added it to my Kindle Unlimited shelf. Then we have Good Game by Madison Fox. This is the first book on this Kindle Unlimited TBR, look at my shelf, etc., whatever you want to call it, that I have no idea how it got here. I have no recollection of adding it. I don't remember who told me to read it. I don't remember. I'm sure someone was reading it in sprints and told me to read it, or someone was like, you will like this, read this, but I have no recollection of it. This is a dark romance, at least it looks that way from the synopsis that I'm reading, where it is kind of a sports romance because he is a video game player. That is the extent of my knowledge. But if you were the person who told me to put this on my TBR, please remind me, because I would like to shout you out for the recommendation, but I don't remember adding this to my TBR. Then we have The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren. This is the first book in the Improbable Meet Cute series, which is a series of short stories written by different authors that are like quick romance reads. That is why it's on here. Sometimes I just need a short story to fit in for a 24, 48-hour readathon, and I didn't want to forget about these. So I added the first one to my Kindle so that when I get to a 48-hour readathon or a 24-hour readathon, I have these short stories that I can quickly pull out and read really, really quickly. Then we have another book that is on my Kindle Unlimited because of Katie. This is now the second one that Katie has been the reason I have downloaded it. Katie was doing a read-along of the first book. I did not get to it during the read-along. I really, really wanted to, but I still really want to read this book. And that is Heir of Sun and Moon by Janessa Wren. This is a fairy tale retelling, and as soon as Katie said it was a fairy tale retelling, I was like, do I have time for this? No. Do I want to read it? Yes. Add to Kindle. This is a Rapunzel retelling, and it doesn't take much to get me to add retellings to my TBR at any given time. Redeeming Aries by LP Peace is a alien smut book, if you couldn't tell by the cover, that is based off astrological signs. It's the first book in the Astrological Mate series. I heard about this series because Crystal put the 4th book on her TBR fairly recently, and I was intrigued. Mostly because the title was crazy. And I was like, what could this possibly be? So I downloaded the first book in kind of hopes to do a very laid back buddy read with Crystal, and I did not get it done. I'm bad at doing read-alongs and buddy reads sometimes. I just overcommit and then only half of them happen. But I still am intrigued to kind of read this at some point. I'm in no rush to get it done, but I'm interested. Then we have Autopsy of a Fairy Tale by Nicole Scarano. I think you can guess what got this on my TBR. The word fairy tale was in the title. So instantly I went to look at the synopsis. Then the tagline drew me in. It went add to Kindle as soon as I read the tagline. And the tagline was Beauty and the Beast meets Criminal Minds in this murder mystery romantic suspense. Say less. I needed no more information. Beauty and the Beast, Criminal Minds, murder mystery. Those are so many buzzwords for me that I needed to read this book and I needed to put it on my Kindle. Flawless by Elsie Silver is obviously the first book in the Chestnut Springs series. This is on my Kindle from before we planned Chestnut Springs along. I have been wanting to read this cowboy romance series for so long, so thankfully Claire asked me to be a part of the read along, and now I finally am going to get to it this month. I do have the Kindle version from KU, but I have since gotten all 5 physical copies. So I may do a mix of reading this with ebook and physical book, depending on the circumstances for which I get to the book. If you want to join us for this, we are doing the live show on the first weekend in May. So you've got some time to read this, which is good because I haven't read it either yet. So I need to get to it too. 'Tis the Season for Revenge is by Morgan Elizabeth. And this is a Christmas Grumpy Sunshine age gap romance. I was really hoping to get to this, obviously, over the holiday season, and that did not happen. I always have way too many books to get to over the holiday season, and I can never really get them all done because it's only 3 weeks to a month of time of reading holiday books. But I do foresee me getting to this, hopefully for maybe something happening in July. Maybe. We'll see. This one follows Abby, and Abby is dating Richard, and they've been dating for 4 years. He's a lawyer, and she is ready for him to put a ring on it. He doesn't. She leaves him because he's kind of not going to commit. Then she starts kind of thinking about getting some revenge on him and starts dating a partner at his law firm. This partner is Damien, and we all know how things go in a romance. I feel like Damien and Abby spark some true feelings and things snowball from there. Now we shall go back further in time, past the Christmas season to the Halloween season, and find Hollow by C.M. Niscata. This is a short story collection, kind of, because it just has 2 short stories in it, but it is more than one. So we're going to go with a collection of short stories from Sleepy Hollow. Quite a few people were reading this over spooky season, and since it is related to Sleepy Hollow, for me, that is somewhat in the realm of a retelling, so I put it on my Kindle. Hunt the Wood by Anna Fury and Amy Penza is a male-male romance Red Riding Hood retelling. Need I say more? Hopefully not, because that was literally the extent of my knowledge when I put it on my Kindle, and it still is the extent of my knowledge to this day. Then we have a series that is kind of taking quite a few spots on my Kindle Unlimited shelf, which is The Simple Wild, book 2, 2.5, and 3, which is Wild at Heart, Forever Wild, and Running Wild. This is a series by K.A. Tucker that I really enjoyed the first book of. And last year for Canada Day, K.A. Tucker put them on Kindle Unlimited for just 1 day. You could add them to Kindle Unlimited for Canada Day, and then they were removed from Kindle Unlimited. So if I return these, they're no longer on Kindle Unlimited, so I have to keep them. I have to hold them on my Kindle Unlimited shelf. So really, I need to just continue the series. I need to find time to buckle down and continue because I gave the first one 5 stars. I'm very excited to continue. I just need to find the time to do so. Endure the Pain by Ashley N. Rostek is the second book in the War Quinn series. If you have followed me for any length of time, you will know that the Witsex series by Ashley N. Rostek is one of my favorite thriller, romance, genre blends of all time. I loved that series so much. And I was very excited to try the other series written by this author. I read the first book and I did not love it as much as I loved the Witsex series, but I did enjoy it. and I do want to continue. This is a mafia romance following Maura Quinn. She is the daughter of kind of the mob boss of this family, and she has a why choose relationship with two of his henchmen that she kind of like grew up with. We don't really see that much of the why choose in the first book. She's really with one more than the other, but I think as the trilogy goes on, we'll see more. And last but not least, we have Ink by Elizabeth Hunter. This is the first book in the 7th and main series, and this is on my Kindle because Leandra read it. This is the oldest book on my Kindle Unlimited library, so it's been a while since Leandra read it, and I have been meaning to get to this for a very long time. This is a romance centered around a tattoo shop. Leandra and I do tend to agree often on romance. That's why we read Ice Planet together, because we do tend to agree on things a lot in that genre. So Leandra loving this book made it a pretty quick pickup for me to read. So if you have been counting down as we go through this, you may notice that I do not have 20 borrows from Kindle Unlimited. I only have 15. I've been doing really good lately, reading some of them and returning them, so I have empty space. So what I would like to do is have you fill it. I would like you to give me some recommendations of books that you have on Kindle Unlimited, and I will add them to my shelf so that I can try some of the books that you love that are on Kindle Unlimited. Let me know down in the comments some recommendations, and I will try them out over the next few months. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.